Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's right in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. My email address for pricing is tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Back in 1992, Patek Philippe launched the reference 5000, and the essential case shape you see here was established. It grew sportier with the reference 6000 in 2005, and then later became the 6006 in a larger case size before 2020's steel 6007A, and that limited edition gave birth to the watch you see here, a 2023 model year novelty, the Calatrava 6007G-001. So in white gold, this is a sizable Calatrava, 40 millimeters in diameter, but thin at 9.3 millimeters thick, with a mighty lug-to-lug span of 48.5 millimeters, which is large for a Calatrava dress watch, and then a broad and modern 22 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. This watch and its blue and red siblings represent a tricolor launch for 2023, easily the sportiest and most motorsport themed Calatravas ever made. On my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, this gray gold watch wears beautifully, though in commanding fashion. I'm actually going to recommend that if your wrist is smaller than 15 centimeters circumference, you choose a smaller Calatrava, as the broad lug profile here and the shape of the lugs in particular means that down the barrel you can see I've only got a little bit of clearance on each side, and that's maybe even more evident from over the top, where you can see the lugs are pushing out to the edge, not over the edge, but they're getting there. So if your wrist is 15 centimeters circumference and up, game on. If your wrist is smaller, you're going to want to go and find one of the old 6006, 6000, or 5000 models. The watch is low though, and you can see thin with a sloped bezel and crystal. It will slide easily underneath a dress cuff. The watch has a super sporty embossed leather strap. It may look like some sort of textile or even carbon fiber, but this is actually calfskin with what Patek Philippe calls a carbon pattern. You can also see that it features a contrasting stitch that matches the details of the dial, a folded edge on the bottom, a bright yellow base in calfskin. You can see it uses Patek Philippe's modern pull tab spring bars, so using only your thumbnail you can pop the strap off of the case. You will appreciate it is a brand new Patek strap, neither crimped nor gouged. It's paired with a white gold spade style Patek Philippe pin buckle. And of course I talked about gray gold a moment ago, so a bit of clarity. Gray gold is 18 karat white gold that never needs to be plated with rhodium. It's naturally white. It's white all the way through, so any scratch is going to show the same color material underneath. Gray gold's what you'll find on JLC, it's what you'll find on Rolex, Patek Philippe, Greubel Forsey, de Bethune, the best brands. So here we have a very strong case profile. You can see almost Carrera-like lug integration with these massive sheer lug profiles. And then you can also appreciate the way the case band wraps around the terminal end of the lug. On the top, on the flank, everywhere really, it's polished and reflective, and you can see that the bezel is flush to the edge of the case for a seamless look. The crown is large and blessed with a Calatrava cross logo, the symbol of the manufacturer, and then the dial featuring that same carbon pattern at the center. And I emphasize pattern, there's no carbon fiber here. We have a racing dial staggered track outboard like a 1960s or 70s Omega Speedmaster. So you see you have that checkered-like pattern, almost like the Omega racing dial or the checkered flag that flies at the end of a race. We have a combination of white gold hands, white gold radially arrayed Arabic numerals. We have a couple of different finishes. We've got the carbon pattern at center. Then you can see that we have a sort of matte metallic finish underneath the numerals, and then outboard, we'll get as close as you can possibly see. You see there is a polished chaptering that separates the outer circumference of the hour track and the inner circumference of the hour track. So there's quite a bit of detail going on this dial. And we've got this lovely yellow lacquered counterweighted Lancet style seconds hand. Now the watch has a couple of subsidiary setting modes, and I know a lot of you will be thrilled that Patek finally makes hacking seconds a standard feature of a Calatrava watch. And then we've also got a quick set system for the date right there. Turn it all over. The reason we have that hacking second system is the still relatively new Patek Philippe 26330 SC movement. It's a development of the prior 324, but in addition to the hacking system, you can see that the reduction wheels associated with the winding system are entirely different. And then this is a 6-position adjusted, free-sprung, 45-hour power reserve automatic winder with the hacking and the quickset. It has a beat rate of 4 Hz or 28,800 vibrations per hour. This is a 30 jewel movement. It's adjusted in 6 positions, and when you combine the anti-magnetic silicon hairspring, the free-sprung Gyromax architecture, the 6-position adjustment, and the Patek Philippe seal, that means that the watch is rated from the factory to run no worse than -3 + 2 seconds per 24 hours. It's all 30 meters water resistant with a screwed-in case back, so while this is a sporty Calatrava, nevertheless, it's not an aquatic watch and shouldn't be taken swimming. A close examination reveals that in an era when most high-luxury brands tend to err on the side of using more machine finishing than manual finishing, you could see, especially with those lovely rounded mirrored bevels, that Patek Philippe still uses a judicious blend of both, with emphasis on hand finishing even on mass-produced watches. It's a unidirectional winder for efficiency. Unidirectional is more efficient than bidirectional. It uses anti-seize hybrid ceramic bearings. They can operate indefinitely without lubrication, so they don't have the tar-like phenomenon of the lube aging out and slowing the rotor with time. Of course, this is all remarkably well loomed for a Calatrava. I mentioned it's quite sporty, and you can see that dashboard-like instrument array of radial numerals. This recalls the vintage clocks, speedometers, and tachometers of sports cars from the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, with a little bit of a nod to modernity in the form of the carbon pattern. Again, 45-hour automatic winding power reserve and Patek Philippe watches now with hacking. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.